Good morning, guys. So today, anyone want to join me for a clean and cook with me? I need to tidy up the house since it's almost Saturday and there's something there's something he wants to talk to. There's something about just getting things ready for the weekend. I'm also getting over a cold, so pardon my voice, but today I'm going to clean, pick things up. And then I have some broccoli that I need to use for something. So I figured I'd make a broccoli, bacon, and cheese salad. It's my favorite, one of my favorite salads. I'm gonna do that first thing this morning because I want to get it in the fridge to get it, all the flavors marinating. And then I'm gonna make for supper a chicken, bacon, spinach type dish. I need to use up some spinach. And I'm already doing bacon for the other salad, so that'll be great. And then maybe we'll see if I can get around to doing like a brownie dessert. All the recipes I'll have linked in the description. And yeah, you ready to start working? Yeah? Okay, so it's time to get to work. So I had defrosted some bacon from the previous day, so I pulled that out and got that going. Do you guys do your bacon in the oven? I find it keeps things a lot cleaner. Plus you can collect the bacon grease afterwards. But I went ahead and chopped up the onion. This was nice because I had it in the fridge and needed to use it up. And then the broccoli, it was starting to go a little bit. Some of the edges were a little, off looking, so I cut those off, but then chopped it all up. I like veggies and stuff to be a little more bite-sized when I'm eating it, like in this case. So I'm always cutting stuff smaller than most people, but maybe that's just me. Let me know, do you like that? Do you like smaller bite stuff? Sometimes I feel like it's awkward if you're in a group or if you're eating with other people and stuff is really big. I guess I get self-conscious about it, but maybe it's just me. Anyway, so then you mix stevia up in with my dressing. It was a very simple dressing. I'll have the recipe link below, so you can try it if you'd like. This is always, it always gets used up. Whenever I take it somewhere, it always disappears. If I want leftovers, I have to leave some at home for myself. But you can see there's smoke coming, or steam coming out from the oven. That's the bacon still going in there. Then I just mixed that all up and pulled out the bacon and let that sit for a little bit to cool. There I'm eating a hard-boiled egg. I think Derek had left it over, or maybe it was part of my breakfast, I'm not sure. But sometimes I'll eat while I work, just that way I can get more done. It's probably not the best digestive-wise, but sometimes on days like this, I was just trying to maximize my time. And then I saved the bacon grease. I love to use that in things. Use that for greasing my cast iron pans and just adds a lot of flavor. Then once that was done, I chopped up the bacon. I left a couple, maybe half of it, for using in the chicken dish later, as you'll see. And then once that was all done, getting mixed up, I threw some saran wrap over it and put it in the fridge so all the flavors could, just get all mellow together and marinate or whatever they say. And then it was time to get on to cleaning. Okay, so I have the broccoli salad done, and now it's basically time to start tidying up, get laundry going. I'm going to show you what the house looks like. It doesn't necessarily look bad, probably, or to some people it's not going to look bad, but it just basically needs things being put away, and got the dishes to take care of. This morning I did a thing of enchiladas. It didn't take me hardly long at all because I already had the meat cooked and the sauce was really easy to throw together. But anyways, I gotta put stuff away, remnants from that, and so let's do that and keep knocking things out. Things left out from sourdough, jars I need to put away. This is a whole pile of random stuff that needs to get taken care of. You can see there's baby thing bags, there's a fly thing I need to throw out. You see that? Yeah, that's the whole thing right now with the rain watering the grass. There's been tons of flies. Finish cleaning things up there, put things away, refill a chocolate chip container. Need to put this thing away, put those back out to the shed. We just had a lot of random things that needed to be put back in their spot. It's amazing how things can get so messy just in a day or something. Before we had kids, I couldn't really blame it on anybody else other than ourselves, but now we can say, oh, that's the kids. They did that. But no, in all seriousness, we all do it, don't we? There was plenty of random things that were left out from all sorts of different things. It needs to be swept in here, tidied up. In our room, shoes need to be put away. We kind of left in a hurry. We got up late this morning, so yeah, that's the condition of the bed. It's bad, I know. On this particular day, it was a laundry day. I usually do laundry twice a week, and that seems to be the perfect deal for us. It works out really well. Do it on Tuesdays and on Fridays. So then when the week starts, I'm not hit with a whole ton of laundry, and then when the week ends, I do finish the laundry up, and then it's a pretty nice feeling to know that you don't have laundry looming in front of you all during the weekend. I went ahead and got a load going. Then it was on to the kitchen. It's really amazing sometimes how just having a few things out can really clutter up the countertops. Whether it's papers or toys or just, all kinds of stuff. So today my goal was mostly just to pick up. It wasn't like there was a ton of deep cleaning I was going to do. And I can't tell you how amazing it felt after when I was done, just knowing that everything was put away back in their spot, There were some things that had been here for weeks, some things for days, but regardless, it was time for things to go and to give the counters a good wipe down. And then once again, I used my favorite cleaner that my sister-in-law Rebecca gave me. Then it was time to move on to the dishes. There seems to be never-ending amount of dishes, right? But hey, I am glad to be able to have water and to be able to clean and stuff. It's also amazing these wood floors collect so much dirt. I think we must have a unique set of wood floors or something. I'm just kidding, but when the dirt is spread out, it doesn't seem like a ton, but then when I was sweeping, I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. And then since I finished sweeping, I was like, let's go ahead and mop, go ahead and do this. It's not one of my favorite things to do, but it always feels like an accomplishment. I don't know why, but it's not that big of a deal, but once you go and do it, after you've done it, it's like, oh, that wasn't that hard, but before I do it, though, it always seems like a much bigger ordeal. I don't know. Maybe just growing up, it was something that when it was a big cleaning day, you'd pull up the mop or something, so it seems like it was a much bigger event. Then it was on to cleaning by the dining room. Dirk is always, going through stuff, pulling stuff out, but most of this stuff in this situation was just things we had left out or things that needed to be taken care of. I had a bunch of eucalyptus. I don't know if you saw a jar of eucalyptus branches. I think it might have been even silver dollar, more like that. But before our little Dolly was born, we had gone out to the mountains and we collected some from pretty high altitude. It was kind of fun to find it up there. Anyways, I went ahead and gave Dirk's high chair seat a good wipe down. It wasn't too bad, but it just needed, a serious wipe down. And then it was back to sweeping the floor. He was pretty funny when I was doing this. He kept trying to play with the dirt. Can you say boy? There I'm trying to move him to the side a little bit because I was like just trying to get things cleaned up. And then he started playing with the camera. He thought that was interesting. So we had a little discussion about that and about how we leave the camera alone. And then it was time to mop. Get it all cleaned up. The living room wasn't too bad. One of the perks to having a small house is that you don't have as much to clean, but when it does get messy, it's like, whoa. So there was a bike trailer part that got left out. We had bought it, and I guess had somehow gotten missed when Curtis was putting the bike trailer together. Sometime I'm going to show you. We have a video coming up with a bike trailer. We're kind of experimenting. We want to be able to go on bikes with the kids, and so that'll be fun to share more about that. Anyhow, here just vacuuming up the floor. What's funny? We had this discussion. For a long time, Curtis has been saying he's been wanting to get a barrel vacuum. And just this Sunday, we realized our terminology were completely different. When I thought of a barrel vacuum, I thought of this little vacuum that rolled around. It had like 4 wheels, and it was like a low to the ground, kind of almost like a belly. I don't know how you describe it, but it wasn't what he was talking about at all. he was referring to a shop vac. And then once I realized that, it was like, oh, duh. My goodness. Anyway, it's just kind of funny. Like, we don't often miscommunicate, but in this situation, we were thinking two totally different vacuums. Anyhow, he's talking about how he wants to get one of those to see if it picks stuff up off the wood floor better. His better suction, maybe? We shall see. Anyways, on to the bathroom. Yeah, time to wipe stuff down. It wasn't too bad. It just mostly needed a good wipe down. I used to work at a retreat center. Did housekeeping, and I remember it was so much fun to get the chrome and everything shiny and stuff. And even to this day, whenever we go somewhere, stay in a hotel or just stay somewhere, I always like to look and see, like, did they clean behind it? Are there fingerprints on it? Just look for those little things. And then it was time to do the toilet. For me, honestly, doing the toilet doesn't bother me. I know for some people they find it extremely disgusting, but I don't know. I'm just like, you get in there, get it done. It's not too bad, but my biggest challenge was keeping Dirk out of it. He was so curious and wanting to watch everything. At this point, the laundry was done, and I found, look at that, a little car. Dirk must have thrown it in there. I like to try to get the laundry hung out by noon. Whether or not I try to or not, that's kind of usually what happens, or I just try to get it out, so it can be drying. Here, since we live in the desert, everything dries so fast. It's so nice. So this actually, believe it or not, was a Mother's Day gift. I had asked Curtis for a clothesline, and so I was very happy once we got this one and got it up. It might seem kind of silly, but I love the ability to be able to hang stuff up. And then it was back inside to the bedroom, cleaning things up. It wasn't too bad, but we had a church outing the night before. There were some missionaries speaking, and so there were things to pick up from, because we kind of left in a hurry for that the previous night. And Dirk is such a little stinker. He thought it was kind of funny. So I vacuumed around him and then later made him move. I know, how rude. I absolutely love how the sun comes into our bedroom and lights it up. It's really nice. We had to get darkening curtains actually so Dirk would sleep, which I'm definitely not complaining about. Okay, so these brownies, they're a recipe that I really like making whenever we're going somewhere, say to a Bible study or something, and you want to bring some sort of snack. These are one of my favorites to make. This particular recipe, it's more of a keto style recipe, but this time it turned out really, really good, and I think it's because of the pumpkin puree. I mean, it turns out pretty good, not most of the time. Sometimes it ends up drier than others, but this time, it was so good. This is just typically how I make it. Mix it up, melt the butter, melt the chocolate, mix it up together, and then I added the pumpkin. And one thing that's kind of fun is you use black cocoa powder. I ordered this off of Amazon. I can share a link for that. And it was really delicious. It almost has a bit of an Oreo flavor with using the black cocoa. So that's really fun. The recipe called for brown sugar. I think it was Latanko, or is that how you say it? I'm not even sure. But some sort of, maybe even an allulose brown sugar, which I didn't have, so I just used a bit of molasses for that. And then some super sweet, which is a Trim Healthy Mama sweetener, natural sweetener. And then I threw in a couple donks of stevia as well. I like things to be a little on the sweet side, so. And yeah, just for the record, this is a completely sugar-free dessert. If you're following Trim Healthy Mama, it's an S for satisfy. I'm actually thinking maybe with adding I think it's still an S, even with adding the pumpkin, because that would add some carbs, but by the time you break it down, it's going to be pretty minimal from what I can remember. I could be wrong. I'm no expert with Trim Healthy Mama, but I just try to do my best. Did you see how yellow that egg was? We have some friends that we get eggs from, which I'm super grateful for, to be able to get eggs off, local eggs instead of buying the ones from Walmart. We're very blessed in that regards. My almond flour, I also buy that in bulk. That's why it's in a random container. Or I buy it from Costco, so it's not really in bulk. It's just maybe 1 pound or something bag. I'm not sure. Don't even remember. So once that was done mixing up, then I threw the chocolate chips in and threw that into a lined baking pan. We were able to take it to some friends on the weekend, and it was nice to be able to grab it last minute because I wasn't expecting to take it anywhere. So it was fun to share it with them. Even Curtis said he really liked it, which isn't super common for, he does not do Trim Healthy Mama or Trim Healthy Man, as some people say. So for him to enjoy sugar-free dessert was kind of fun. It was nice to hear that. Then after lunch, I decided to go ahead, since I still was feeling good, had energy, decided to go ahead and get the chicken made up. Did you guys see my pot hanging rack? I think that's the coolest thing. It's really nice. It's a good space saver, to hang your pots up. And since we don't have a hood range, it seemed like the appropriate thing to put up there. I didn't have the full amount of spinach that this recipe called for, but I figured, hey, I'll use what I have. I needed to use it. Didn't want it to go to waste. Plus, right now, for some reason, I have tons of garlic, so I did more than the recipe called for of garlic. But you wouldn't really know when we ate it. It wasn't like overpowering or anything. This is my favorite way to peel garlic. To basically smash it with a knife, and then the outer covering just comes right off. And then just chop them up into whatever size pieces you're looking for. I will have a recipe similar to this linked in the description. I'm not sure that I'll be able to find the exact one online, and since this is from a Trim Healthy Mama cookbook, I don't feel comfortable sharing recipes from a cookbook that is available. You can go online and buy the cookbook. So anyways, I'll see if I can't find a similar recipe and link it below. Then I mixed the cream cheese in, and I started cutting the chicken breasts in half. They just seemed to cook a little faster. Plus, I was able to turn this into 3 different meals, which was nice. So we had this for dinner that night, and it was really good. And I was able to, from that dinner, we had some left over still, so I was able to use that for lunch, and it's nice. It's always nice to have leftovers like that. And in case you are wondering, this is a Trim Healthy Mama because of the fat from the cream cheese and bacon. So then I just seasoned the meat up there, and then threw on some paprika, and then poured the sauce on. It doesn't look like there was a ton of topping, but actually when it cooked, it was the perfect amount. I did add a bit of water to the pan just to kind of mix up and get the last of the residue, get the last of the mixture out, and it turned out perfect. I mean, it looks pretty scarce. Looks pretty scarce in the video, but it ended up being just right. Then I threw it in the fridge. I threw the one container in the fridge, the glass, and then we had that for dinner, and then the other 2, I put those in the freezer and labeled them, so we'll have them for a future time. It's always nice to have those on hand for when I am not feeling the greatest or just feeling kind of physically, emotionally, whatever, low, and it saves you from pulling out a freezer meal for sure. One of my favorite things is fresh laundry, especially when it's been hung outside and it kind of feels, I don't know if crunchy is, I guess stiff would be the word. That's like one of the nicest things, especially bedding. I don't know. It's just one of my favorite things. But before I would do it on a clothes rack, and it gets windy here, and I would inevitably find the clothes rack blown over like multiple times, and that was always frustrating. So it was nice. So nice once we got a clothesline. For my snack, I had some of the brownie with one of Coach Becky's little ice creams. I had one of those left in the freezer, so it was really delicious. And then for supper, we had the broccoli salad with the spinach bacon. Our little guy, he thoroughly enjoyed his meal, which was fun to see. Thanks for stopping in. I look forward to sharing another video with you guys next week. We'll see you later. Bye.